Subtle, smart, and street legal. What makes this a cult classic? It doesn't scream for attention, it's not tactical, and yet it might be the most intuitive knife that I regularly carry. This is the Spyderco UKPK. Lightweight, low profile, and built with purpose. Today I'm digging into the quirks and the cleverness behind a pocket knife that quietly earns its spot in your pocket. This was specifically developed following the introduction of the UK knife laws that prevent the everyday carry of locking knives. That's everyday carry without good reason. As you can see, it was based on the clip-it design that Spyderco already had, which is a sort of a slip joint mechanism. So it doesn't need a lock. And the good thing about this is, like other slip joints, it's not fully locked into place when open, but it takes a bit of pressure to close it. I'll go through a little bit more of the ergonomics later. If you want to know more about UK knife laws, check out this video here. I made one a while ago. So let's have a look at the specifications. So this is a really light knife. It weighs in at 49 grams or 1.7 ounces. The length when closed is 105 millimeters or 4.1 inches. When open, it's 175 millimeters or 7 inches. And the blade length here is 75 millimeters or 2.9 inches. So it's under the 3-inch size, which makes it UK legal. This particular one is not one of the newest models. It's got one of the older steels on it. So I'll go through the steels shortly. Let's start with the handle. So this particular one is black FRN, so reinforced nylon. You can find it in other handle materials such as G10. And on the secondary market, you can find all sorts, everything from titanium to wood to copper to bronze, all sorts. And because it has these 3 torque screws holding it together, it's very easy to take apart. It's quite a simple design for that. You'll also note that this has a wire pocket clip for a deep pocket carry and for a carry with the blade upright as well. That's one of the things I like about this, is it fits if I'm wearing a pair of shorts. It's a nice deep carry and it's easy to reach into my pocket to get it. Also on the secondary market, you can get other clips as well. They're very easy to replace. And again, it's just a torque screw to remove that. So I think that's one of the reasons why this is so popular, because it's so easy to customize. Moving on from the handle, let's take a look at the blade. So in this case, and let's see if we can get a closer look. Hopefully you can see this. It's CTS BD1. So it's rust resistant, but it's not a super steel. It's not too abrasive resistant either, but one of the benefits is it's very easy to sharpen. The CTS BD1 version is better. You can also get it in CPM, S110V, S30V, or SPY27. So if you look around either new or on the secondhand market, you can find a lot of different versions of this. I just went for a fairly cheap one. I got this secondhand, and I wanted to just try it out to see if I liked it or not. This is a flat grind as well, and this is the leaf shape, which is very typical of Spyderco, with the hole for the one hand opening. Looking at it as well, you can see it has some jimping on the back and some jimping here in what's effectively a finger choil. So you can see you can easily fit 4 fingers onto there very easily. And the nice thing about this, which I like about the ergonomics, is when you've got your finger and thumb there, it's almost impossible to close that on your finger because your finger gets trapped. It's nowhere near the blade. And so it makes it very safe to use. as well as it having quite a good lockout and a half stop, you can see there, it's got a really good lockout, takes quite a bit of force to break it, but with your finger and thumb there, as you use it, it's really not going to close on your hand at all. So it always feels really safe when using it. Let's see it in use in a couple of situations. So it's super sharp. Well, I keep mine sharp, so it's very easy to cut something like paracord. If we're looking for a post-it note, you can just see how super slicey it is, and it's very easy to maintain. If you've seen my sharpening videos, I'm not the world's best at sharpening, so it's easy to sharpen. If a typical use might be to use it to cut an apple, so it slices through no problem, and really easy there. I'll eat that later. Or even cardboard, so it makes very short work of corrugated cardboard. I think that one of the good things about this is that it'll be in my pocket, and typically it's in my pocket with the clip out. When I reach in to pull it out, I immediately have my thumb near the opening and it's there to use. So if I was holding the cardboard in my right hand and I need to cut it or something else, I bring this out, the one hand opening, and it's ready to cut. Great for if I'm filling the recycling bin with cardboard just before I put the bins out. So that's one of the great things about this. I really like the one hand opening. So how does this compare with other Spydercos that I have? Now, I only have 3 Spydercos. I have the UKPK, then I've recently got the Spyderco Squeak, and this is also one hand opening, but with a much smaller leaf blade, sort of shorter and fatter. And then the first Spyderco that I got was this one, which is the Grasshopper. And I've got a video on the Grasshopper. I haven't done one on the Squeak yet. The thing I liked about the Grasshopper was that this was such an easy one to carry. And again, for slicing fruit or anything, is just great to have around. So that's how it fits in with those. I haven't got any other ones. I've stuck with ones that are UK legal. I will do a video on the Squeak at some point. I've carried it for a while now and I find it quite useful. It's a little bit less easy to open with one hand. The sort of geometry isn't quite as good as this, and the blade is quite short. But looking at this, if you're looking at sort of socially acceptable blades, if you compare the Squeak to the UKPK, you can see that this is less pointy. The UKPK, I would say, is about an 8 on the eyebrow test, which means that if I got it out at work to cut up some fruit, I might have a few people raise an eyebrow. I'd probably have less with this. I found even with this though, because it's such a almost scalpel of a knife, a few people do raise their eyebrows if I get this out to cut up fruit or something like that. So that's how it compares with 2 other Spydercos. How does it compare with a couple of other single blade knives? So there's the UKPK. This is the Victorinox Solo. So you can see how it measures in size. And here I've got an Arthur Wright, so a traditional Sheffield knife. And it's got the easy opening nick, but you can see it in size there. So it compares very well. I mean, it's a lot more ugly than the Arthur Wright, and it doesn't have this fantastic A-locks of the Victorinox Solo, but this is the one that I carry the most because it's just so practical to have in my pocket. A couple of last pros and cons. So one of the cons is there's no lock, and it's a little bit ugly and maybe a little bit pointy for some people. The pro is that it feels safe. So even though it's got no lock, it's got those finger choils, which means it's not going to close on you. Plus, it's got a fairly stiff slip joint on it. Another pro is you carry it tip up. The one hand opening makes it brilliant. The other thing is that it's very customizable. So once you've got it, you can get lots of different covers for it. You can replace the wire pocket clip as well. And if you're not a big fan of the leaf shape, and I know that some people aren't, it is available in a drop point version. I'll see if I can find a picture and maybe put it up there. So that's the Spyderco UKPK. Quietly clever and surprisingly capable. I'd love to hear what you think. Does a non-locking design make sense for your everyday carry, or is the not having a lock a deal breaker? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you like this deep dive, hit the like and subscribe and stick around. I've got loads more EDC videos coming out all the time, or why not check out this video over here, or maybe this playlist. I'm sure you'll find something you like. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.